Greetings, Ranger fans. Bryan Montgomery here with Coach Brandon Hickman. Jesuit is heading to the regional semifinal after, I think, arguably the biggest win in program history last week against Longview. And, Coach, we'll talk about that Longview game, and then we'll turn our focus to the regional semifinal. But I think we got to spend some time talking about that win. Going into that week, pretty much media unanimously picking against the Rangers, against the Longview team that had a 27-game unbeaten streak, 7-0 against the Rangers, 11-0 at Kincaid Stadium. All the numbers were going the way of the Lobos. But the Rangers scored the first touchdown of the game, led from wire to wire, never gave it up, picked up a massive win. And just let's talk about at the end of that game when the clock went to 0, just the thoughts that went through your mind and knowing that you pulled off such a momentous upset.
Oh, it felt like a dream kind of. I stared at the clock for a while and, it was an unbelievable game. Proud of the kids and the effort and the fight that we had. And I told them at halftime, don't wait on them to beat you. Go beat them. And I knew they'd make a push a little bit, but our defense played great. Our offense played really well. We kept our defense off the field, which I thought was huge. And then we got a couple turnovers. We had a couple two-point conversion stops that were big. But just an all-around team effort. So proud of the kids and the coaches and our community. That was an amazing atmosphere after that game. The student sections, rushing the field and the parents and the coaches' wives and families. It was unreal. It didn't feel real, to be honest with you, until, probably yesterday. But now, hey, we got to move on to the next game.
And the big component of that game, Rangers have a 2-point lead after Longview scores. You stop the 2-point conversion. There's 8:38 on the clock. And what does Jesuit do but go 15 plays down the field, and you take the clock entirely out? And looking at what the Rangers had to do in that drive, just walk us through that from an offensive standpoint, what your thought process was in that drive.
Get first downs, unfortunately we had a couple third and long situations, that you don't want to get in. We gave up a sack. But they're good. I mean, they only give up 6 points a game, and, they're tough. And we knew that would happen. But Rance made the throws when he needed to. Blanco came up with a big catch. And then Wyatt had the 2 big fourth down catches. It was one of those deals where I thought, we're never going to be in this position probably again in the playoff second round. We got to go for it. We're too far out from kicking the field goal. And we said, let's go for it and see what happens there. And we made the plays, when it came down to it. We made the plays in the crunch time, whether it was on defense, the 2-point conversion, we made the plays. Jalen Spicer's blocked extra point, was a huge shift for us to take the lead at halftime. And, I thought we came out the second half and controlled the game.
And then now moving forward after that big win, next up is Klein Collins. And Klein, we've seen this a lot. It seems to be a trend in what Region 2 has to offer. Lakeview Centennial had a power run game. Longview had a power run game, and it seems just off of the early look at Klein Collins, this is a run-centric team with a phenomenal running back. But looking at that, what are some of the things that the Ranger fans need to know about Klein Collins?
Oh, they got a good football program. I mean, they've been here before. The year we lost to John Tyler, I want to say in 2016, Klein Collins beat them that year, and John Tyler was really good, so they got a good football team. They've been here before. This is the head coach's second year there. And he's been there for a while, but this is second year as head coach. They got a big quarterback. He's probably 6'5", 225 pounds, can run. And then their tailback, Bridges, he's number 2. He's a really good player, talented player. And up front, they're big. They got a good offensive line, and, we're going to have to stop the run, I think, and try to get ahead of the chains and get ahead of the, if we can try to get the lead on them, that would be big for us early on. I think it's important we get off to a good start. We don't want them controlling the game with their run game, but I feel real good about our defensive line and offensive line. They've been winning the game in the trenches the past few weeks, and I'm very confident in those guys on our team.
In that defensive offensive line, really made up of seniors, and I think that that's really been a key point as you look at the transformation of this team over the last 3 weeks. A lot of that has been by the leadership that we've seen from this senior class. Case in point, what they did against Longview. You mentioned Spicer, senior E.J. Smith with 4 touchdowns, senior Wyatt Garrett making those 2 big fourth down catches. And it seems like that senior class is really leading. And now you're at a point where you are at the regional semifinal for the second time in school history, and there's a lot of confidence in the squad right now.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're pretty dangerous right now. We're confident. We're playing well. And that's what you want to be in the playoffs. You want to be peaking, but we don't want to be satisfied with that win. We want to be 1-0 this week, and we had a good day of practice today, kind of prepped, put in the game plan, watched some film, from last Friday. And, you know, what's great about our kids is, yeah, we had a huge win, and it was probably the biggest win in Jesuit football history, the biggest win. And, you know, they still wanted to get better, and we're still correcting them, and there's some things we still got to improve on, you know, because the margin for error is very limited, very short, very narrow when you get further in the playoffs because everybody's good, you know. And so we got to focus this week in practice. We got to stay locked in with what we're doing. But I tell you, I'm confident with these kids. The senior group's been outstanding this year, and the younger guys are seeing everything. And that's what you want. That's how you build tradition. That's how you build a good program. Is those seniors have to be able to take those younger guys under their wing, and you know, and it's just a cycle. That's how it works. So real proud of the seniors, and you know, excited about Friday night getting to play Thanksgiving week.
Absolutely, Coach. And that game on Friday against Klein Collins, 7 p.m. at McLean Stadium, home of the Baylor Bears. Make sure you make your way down on Interstate 35 to see the Rangers take on the Tigers for a trip to the Region 2-6A final. And as always, be sure to keep it locked into JesuitRangers.org for all of your up-to-date Rangers info.